We started doing winter retreats with multiple churches ever since it was in high school, but officially as AYU, we started in 2008, and it started as we got together with other youth pastors of like mind who really saw just a need to help kids understand the gospel. And as we were ministering among our students, seeing that there's really a lack of understanding of what the gospel is, and had no impact in the lives of the students. And our theme this year is grounded in the gospel, and it's our hope that our kids would see that the gospel is not just the entryway into Christianity, but it's everything, and it impacts all of life. And with that, I invited a good friend of mine, Dave Choi, here to Anchorage, a dear brother and a gifted gospel communicator, to share that with our students. It's our hope that our students would just leave with a more thorough understanding of gospel, that it is all of their life, and it's to transform them.
Yeah, I think for me, when I was growing up in the church around the age of these students, I never heard the gospel in terms of in its relationship to once I got saved. Everything was, okay, you're not saved, you're going to go to hell if you don't believe in Jesus. But once you got saved, the gospel was pretty much it was absent, and I had no idea how it related to me. I never even thought that it did relate to me. And so one of the things that I'm hoping would happen at this retreat is that these students would at least begin to see that the gospel is not just for those who are not saved, but once you do get saved, the gospel is actually just as relevant as it was before salvation. When I was at my 10-year high school reunion, one of my friends who was a Christian in high school, I met him and I said, "Hey, how's your faith doing?" And he told me that he no longer believed in Christianity. And so I asked him what had happened. He said, "I took this class in comparative religions, and I learned that all religions are the same." So I pressed him. I said, "Well, what's the same about all these religions?" And he told me, at first he didn't know, so he was kind of thinking, and he said, "Man's devotion to God." And so I said, "Yeah, you're right. That is the center of all these other major world religions, except for one, is Christianity, because the center of Christianity is God's devotion to us, which is the gospel." And when I was growing up in the church, my whole life, I was always striving to try to be good enough so that God would be happy with me. And no one told me that there's actually a good news of the gospel, that God declares that through Christ we're made righteous. We don't earn it, and that He'll never love me according to my obedience or my disobedience. He'll always love me now according to the work of Jesus Christ. And that's good news, because it frees you then, that you're beloved, and you actually obey now because you're beloved, instead of loving because you're trying to earn His love. And so that's my hope, is that through these messages and through the small groups and through the time together, that at least that seed, that root would kind of start to grow in each of these students' lives, and that they would see, hey, the gospel is actually everything of the Christian life, and it's such good news.
Never.
Never.
Never. Never.
Never.
Never.
Never.
Never.
Never.
Never.
It was really cool this week, all the preaching about the gospel and stuff. And it's really cool how we can grow out of everything else, but never the gospel. You never grow out of it. It's not something we can grow out of like a piece of clothing or a hat or anything like that. God, it was just amazing this week, teaching us that we can never outgrow the gospel.